What's happening, good people? Can y'all hear me okay? I'm a little in the midst, so much so that I don't even have no water. I'm out here in these streets. I don't want to belabor the point. I'll see what y'all snapping and trapping about. Hey, Diva, Dominique Unique, James Mason. I saw a set title around here somewhere. What's up, Nathan? Good to see you guys. What's up, Josh? What's happening? Um, cool. Hey, Kimber Jack. Little lunchtime live. You feel me? So, it was my intention to make some notes, but I did not. I actually got a call from a good friend of mine that I needed to take. Um, I wanted to talk about scammers, right? I've been thinking about this. Um, let's just get the preliminary stuff because this is not necessarily what I wanted to talk about. The preliminary stuff is at some point, well, one, I do giveaways in a kind of weird way. I don't necessarily have a video that I put out there. It was like, hey, giveaway, so on and so forth. I'm not opposed to those. But at this particular junction in time, I'm not trying to use giveaways to get subscribers or for notoriety. I just want to be able to give directly back to the people who like really rock with me. And how I opted to do that was to do it based on the lives. I know that that's unfair to people who don't like lives. I still have to kind of figure that out. But I know some people say, you'll never see me talk about like a phone number or a WhatsApp or whatever, Skype, whatever. But I use Telegram. I don't use WhatsApp. I think that app is trash. I use Telegram. Some people have a phone number for me. The typical process for me to do these things is to email me at mysolarquestions@askive.com. That's how we go about the process of verifying and validating and all that jazz. So at some point, I will inevitably, unless YouTube figures out a way to address this, MKBHD Marquez Brownlee actually had a video about that. Many people have done videos about the spammer problem that YouTube has. I wish I had some water. Dang it, I don't have any. Hey, babe, if you're around, can you give me some water? This glass is cool right here. Thank you. So please do not treat the comment section as an opportunity for someone to get over on you. We talk about CashApp and things like that. But I just want you guys to be smart. Don't be compelled just because it's like a picture that looks familiar and the person is saying, I have something for you and all that jazz. Just don't. So the real thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm open to you guys' thoughts, is so someone reached out to me for assistance, and I'm just going to be very candid, which is fine. I have no issues with that. But I think that as the channel grows, I have to kind of guard myself. Saya, not a good time for that, buddy. Thank you, baby. Somebody reached out to me for help. I am naturally just Ivan, who I am. I am a community-minded person. I believe in helping people. I believe in the concept of being blessed to be a blessing. I believe in like sharing and all of that jazz. But I have to be wise. God has given us wisdom. He has given us discernment. So I want to be very intentional about how I choose to share. There's a lot of thoughts going through my head, you know what I mean? So bear with me. And if y'all are believers, people who believe in Jesus, God, like pray for me and this community. You know what I mean? I feel like there are kind people in this community. I don't want you guys to be taken advantage of, you know what I mean? Or anything like that. So I have to try and be wise about when people share their stories, their hardships and stuff like that. But you also what? No. Nothing happened. I just want to kind of put it out there. I want to be able to have this conversation with the community. So, because as the channel continues to grow, I may see more and more of this. You know what I mean? So I just,
More preventive and react instead of reactive and proactive.
I would say being more transparent just about how my thoughts and how my brain works and stuff like that. So with that being said, inevitably you may find a situation where somebody reaches out for help, they need assistance, and I may not be able to help them. One, because of limited means. Two, because I don't feel right about that particular situation. That may leave a sour taste in some people's mouths, but that's the life that I have to deal with. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be able to necessarily help everybody. I'm not going to be able to help a lot of people. Some people may make me feel like, I don't know. So I just want you guys to be mindful of that. You guys who have been with me, hanging out with me for a while, you know, you know what I mean? It's like my thing. I don't need all of these power stations. I don't necessarily need all of these panels. It is my desire. It has always been my desire to be able to give stuff away to the community. I'll say it plain and clear. Now, at some point, there could be a moment where I want to sell the devices at a reduced price, because in real life actuality, these things come to me. They are a form of compensation. So they are free in theory, but the companies give them to me in exchange for making a video. So you have some people who get paid blatantly to make videos, and I don't have an issue with that. I feel like it's your time. Your time is valuable. Your reach is valuable. I have no problems with that. I know some people feel a way about that, but it's like it is what it is. So when I receive something and I give it away, I have essentially given away my compensation. So at some point, I may be interested in selling them. I don't believe in trying to get over on people. I believe in being fair in my dealings, upright in my dealings, and so on and so forth. So yeah, definitely not going to be able to please everybody, as my wife is saying behind me. But I also want to acknowledge that, as always, there are people out there who fall on hard times, and we all need to be willing to be kind to one another, our fellow Americans, and even non-Americans. I don't have this like idea that I can't help somebody who's not in the States. You know what I mean? If means are there, like I know some people live overseas and they can't get certain devices. And it's just like my brain will think, well, how can we try and get that device to you? And do we order it and ship it to you? Would it be the same? Would it be cheaper? That's just how I don't mind helping folks, man. I really don't. But I do have to be mindful. And I guess what I was trying to get at, I do have to be mindful of people wanting to take advantage of your kindness, like spinning up a story, creating this false narrative in order to get over. And you know what? At the end of the day, we want to be wise. We want to be, what's the word? Is it prudent? I don't think. Right. We want to be prudent. We want to be discerning. We don't want to be fools. But even still, if that person, right, just, and I live in the realm of reasonability. I don't live on the fringe. You know what I mean? So these fringe examples almost don't exist to me. Jay-Z has a lyric where he says, "It's not real to me, therefore it doesn't exist. So poof, vamoose, son of a." And I subscribe to that not because of him, but it's just this idea. Like that makes sense. It's like it's unreasonable. It does not matter to me. I don't live in that realm. So within the realm of reasonability, if someone is in a position to really be out here having to fabricate stories, I don't even mind some semblance of kindness towards that person either. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily desire to be this hard wall of like, nope, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm gonna get into a bit of a segue. I've talked about this before personally, but this idea of people on welfare, like there's been this political narrative of demonizing people on welfare. And I was talking with like a relative of mine. It's just like, okay, let's say people are abusing welfare, right? Do you want to live a life where you have to scheme to get by? And it's like, man, let them people have their welfare. If they got like a Cadillac truck out front and they're receiving government assistance, It's like, yeah, we all pay for that, but we pay for a lot of stuff that is not going to the usage that it's supposed to be, fulfilling. So at the end of the day, it's somebody who's not out here robbing, killing, or stealing. And I'm not trying to equate those two things, but I just feel like I don't want that kind of life to be trying to get over on somebody. There's a certain like restlessness that comes with that. There's a certain like, when will the shoe drop? It's like, I don't want that life. I don't envy people who live that kind of life. So for somebody to be out here like scheming and devising a way to get over, um, eh, that's not an enviable life in my book. And even to be kind to a person in that kind of situation, at the end of the day, it's ultimately okay, because me personally, we don't give for what we get back. We give to be kind. We give because God tells us to be kind to people and to share, but He also tells us to be wise and discerning, and so on and so forth. Hello, Mrs. Last name I will not say.
Hmm.
You have any thoughts? Or you just joining in?
Just joining in now.
Okay, let's see what the people snapping and trapping about.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Hope you had a good lunch. Haven't eaten yet.
Converse is before my time. I love Converse.
What? Converse is before your time.
It is. It is. Converse has been around for a long. Let me tell you something I
before our
appreciate
time.
about Converse is the fact that their shoes cost $60 now. I was in a store with this chick.
They're probably more than that now.
Yeah, they're
We were
probably like
talking about
79,
yesterday.
80, $100. Um, she was trying to convince me Converse in my youth used to be $20, 19.99. You could go get them from anywhere, pay less, wherever. I was looking at Converse because I don't spend a whole lot of money. Sometimes my wife has to nudge me to buy things,
Or just buy it myself.
or just buy it herself. That makes me feel better about it, because something about me spending money I just don't necessarily like. And this young lady in the shoe store was trying to convince me that the Converse going up to $60 was par for the course. And I'm like, no, that's not true. They were $20 like 2 years ago. And I mean, 2 years ago related to that. $60 is not. So what happened was Nike, I think, bought Converse. And that is what caused the shoe prices to go up. But she was like, no, it's reasonable. I was like, shut up. No, I didn't tell her that. I wasn't rude to her. But I was just like, nah, 39, 29, 39. Those are all reasonable
I think
things.
45, 50 is like, yeah.
From 19, just because a company acquired you,
19 went, yeah.
you think that's
I mean,
reasonable?
think about like,
Or is it, let me just sit here. Is it reasonable or understandable?
I think it's reasonable.
I
I
don't,
mean, Converse, they used to be just you know, around the way shoe. Guys, they're really popular now. And so with, demand and popularity, price goes up.
they're popular now. They weren't
They
popular
were
like
always
10
popular.
years
They were
ago.
always popular.
They, anyway, even now, Converse aren't that popular.
Yeah, they are.
They're not.
All the boys have Converse
What
because
is-
they're always in like rotation. And then they have blinged out Converse, like the Chucks are.
So
Chucks
Converse are as readily available as Jordans. Do you put Converse in the popularity of Jordans
I
just
do.
because children's shoes?
Not because of children's shoes. I think it's an indication of their popularity whenever they really hit children's shoes.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Really, that's how you flex on it. I don't think the price back then in that instance warranted the price gauge. It went up way too high. They went from $20 to $60. That's ridiculous. All right. Okay, this is early on. Pouring rain. Converse is before my time. It sounds like a little hateration there. As if something being before my time means I can't access it. He's like, older people are so ridiculous with stuff like that. Wayne. What's up, sleeper? No, nothing happened. Scared the missus there. I know, right? What's up, LVP? Learns time live. You know what I mean? I'm out here in these streets. Sounds like someone gave you a sob story to solicit swag. No, well, that's the thing. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I feel like there are in undoubtedly people who fall on hard times. Period. There always have been, and they're like, yeah, my wife is saying we have. You fall on hard times. You need assistance, and I don't think that it's weird to be able to look at someone who has so much and to be able to ask them for a little. And my thing is, I don't have so much, but I think
Well,
that
we
that's
do.
okay.
We do have so much. I was just literally walking past our prep stuff downstairs, and I literally thanked the Lord. I took a moment in my heart to thank God because we have excess, we have abundance, we have multiple things of the same thing, of a lot of things. You know what I mean? And that's just one area. You know what I mean? Talk about your solar stuff. How many power stations you got?
I got like a good 18, 17,
How many panels you have? Like I carried
9.
3 folding panels off the landing down like 2 days ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So what did you say? We don't have.
Abundance.
We do have a
We're
bunch.
getting close. But I also give stuff away. So it's like
You do.
it's not that I keep and I hoard it all to myself.
Right.
And
That's not the
I
point. Stop, Simon. Why you gotta do that?
wait, let me read this comment. It's full of scammers, just like Facebook. There's no reason why I don't use social media anymore because I'm tired of being hacked, scammed, and blackmailed.
You know
That's
what? I
wild.
got like what 4 or 5 months ago, just on Facebook randomly, and somebody hit up this post about something that I needed because I was doing my coloring book, and had a conversation with this person for a couple of days, and sent them my deposit, and that account was done. You know, I was like trying to, and it was through cash. I was like, I just forewent all of the things that you know that you should be doing. You know what I mean? Like, why did I use Cash App? I should have used Venmo, or I should have used PayPal. You know what I mean? Like, I should have had like done a little bit more vetting. You know, and he got me for $75. I was so mad.
I was mad too.
I was so mad.
But
And
I
then
was like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm more cautious than my wife in most cases. So, but
But it took me a minute to finally get, like, I literally had to pray about that too. Like, God, because there's something that I wanted to send emails, and I was trying to figure out how can I, for $75. And it was just like, I sent an email that just pretty much said, like, yo, you going to reap what you sow. You know, and that in and of itself was good enough for me. That I was able to finally let go just by being able to get off my chest. You going to reap what you sow. And I'm good. And then literally the next day I had made back my $75 because somebody bought two bottles of elderberry juice, and yeah, it was like, oh, thanks God, you know.
I think Converse was always an outlier type of shoe. I don't think it's super popular, especially comparatively. See it over here talking about is being popular, whatever. Last pair I bought were about $50 a few years ago. Probably my last pair. Yeah, it's too. The shoes aren't really that great of quality to be costing that much.
That's a good point, but you're not paying for quality per se. You're paying.
My wife is always trying to be like uber reasonable.
That is so not true.
Especially when it's contrary to my point of view.
Well,
that's kind of true.
That's kind of true.
Converse is not a popular sneaker, but it was a good sneaker at an affordable price.
It was,
yeah. For a single layer of canvas, it was a crazy price jump, but they are always popular. I got you. I feel like they're popular within a certain sect, a certain style. It's like what are the skater shoes? Vans. Vans are popular, but they're popular with like a certain type of person. Typically white people, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, things are different now with this generation coming after us.
Man, I mean, even brides are wearing blinged out, Chucks.
Even that in itself is a contradiction to popular culture. The reason why they do that is because they're trying to be different. Because typically a bride would wear nice shoes. That's my point. It's not popular culture. It's different. It's a different sect of popular culture. Like you wearing, that's like somebody wearing Timbs with a suit or Jordans with a suit. Yeah, Jordans are really popular, but it's because it's anti what the culture typically deems suitable. Yeah.
That's also trying to inject your own personal style.
What does that have to do with what we talking about?
Literally everything. It's not about being contrary. It's like I'm injecting. Like this is typically the tradition, and I respect the tradition, but I want to inject my own personal style. I don't want to be contrary. I
Is
just want
Adele up?
to. You know,
It's...
I told them specifically to be quiet. It's like I guess that was a fail to tell three. Yeah.
Oh man, Shoot Town in the '80s, Carrollton Shopping Center, Converse, $10. Hey,
That's the 80s
hey.
though.
You have multiple power stations. I have a ton. I have a ton of power stations.
Mm-hmm.
You should watch the Choosing Beggars on Reddit and Facebook. It will make you realize how full of crap people are who will beg for stuff. That's true.
Depends.
That I mean, that's true. But again, what we don't do is we don't classify everybody as that. That's again what I talk about with this one size fits all approach that we have in this country as it relates to solving problems. It's like, well, because scammers scam, I give my money to no one. And it's like that's just ridiculous. Go ahead.
That made me think of homeless people. You know what I mean? Like I remember having that, like flip flopping. On one hand, it didn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, homeless people are hustlers and so on and so forth. And for a minute, I let that to kind of get inside of me, and I stopped being generous and giving. I remember one time I was walking behind or walking past, homeless people who were chatting, and they were kind of like sharing stories of like where they should go and what to do, what not to do, and it's like at the end of the day, like if you're willing, if that's your hustle, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I'm getting got if somebody hustles me out of $2. My heart is very much more softened towards those who are obvious. You can look at them and you can tell that they really are homeless. But it's like I stopped looking at homeless people as like just hustling.
I don't agree with this logic. I feel like I don't respect anyone who blatantly goes out to scheme so much so that they enhance their lifestyles, you know what I mean, like greatly, vastly. You know what I mean?
But is
there
that
are
really what's happening?
yeah, there are some people who make a very good living off of like standing out there playing fake music, asking for food,
Like I don't.
hanging out in the parking
It's
lot
like
of
I don't have a
Walmarts.
problem with that. Like
It's
I don't
scale.
mind. Like at the end of the day, if your way of making a living is standing on the corner in the summertime, in the wintertime, in the rain, whatever. If you playing a violin and you good, like you
Fake
sing.
playing the violin. Fake
How
playing.
do you fake play the violin?
It's like lip singing, Milli Vanilli.
If you going through all of that for a couple dollars, like what? Like
I'm just that's fine. You can have that opinion. That's cool if you feel that way. I don't feel like you should be able to make a come up off of being deceptive to people.
well, I don't even know if I would consider being deceptive.
I bet you won't.
Unless it's absolutely being deceptive. But
If you're fake playing the violin, what like
I've never experienced that. I'm not talking about those instances. I'm talking about like
what if you're saying you're hungry and you need food? And then somebody follows you home and you get into like a binge. I'm not saying that that's the typical situation. That's kind of like what the media does to us. They show us the extraordinary examples and then we kind of form our worldview based on that. And then we think that everybody's trying to get over. You know what I mean? It's like, I understand you're going to panhandle to make a decent living because you couldn't make a decent living for whatever reason out here in the actual world. Then I get it.
I can't even hate because could you imagine how many cars like go by in a particular like time frame and how much money you like I wouldn't consider doing it, but it's like I can understand if somebody would want to make a living that way.
All right.
So long as it's not deceptive.
I'm gonna move on from that one because Let's see here. I see people expecting strangers on Nextdoor to give them brand new iPhones, and they get mad when someone offers them a used Android. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't deal in the unreasonable. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's relative abundance. Good to talk about it. Be purposeful about giving. Good conversation. Thanks, Bean. I appreciate that.
Oh, okay.
You guys are great. Thank you. Rise above. Frankly, I think the New Balance dad shoes are the peak of tennis shoe technology. I don't know what to do with that. You can have those New Balance dad shoes.
All of them, all every last color, every apple, dude.
Contrary is popular now, though it's no longer rebellious to wear Chucks with a wedding dress. Yeah, okay. I asked this woman, I would say, woman, you probably gonna want to join in on the live. Do you want to put something on the TV for the kids? And here she is in a chair, pulled up, sharing thoughts and stuff, saying it's okay and all that jazz. I'm hesitant about revealing any lack of funds or bad life situation or real need for fear of snotty rejection judgment. Interesting. Snooty. Thank you. Snotty. Weirdo. Fun. Hey, MJ. I'm 2 times over, but listening. Well, power stations and solar panels are your business. True. Tools of the trade. I just want 2,000 watt hour. Yeah, it's gonna be so simple, right? You just want 2,000 watt hours. um, a homeless person is one thing. I don't care if they buy a sandwich or a bump with my money, but people asking people for stuff online, I don't trust.
Yeah.
It depends how and what they ask for. I dig that.
Yeah, you have somebody kind of like that in your free group.
You go into it knowing it's a scam. I give anyway. Well, may God bless you, because
I
I'm
can
not.
see that. It just, you know what I mean? Like, you just, if it's a few bucks.
Yeah, regular beggars who make money per week. Yeah, where do we get that from? Do we know though? Because you know the news deals in extraordinary. So who says they are fake playing? There's like I Google it, look it up on YouTube. There are people who stand out in front of stores and they have music playing and they pretend to play an instrument, and people give them money because the sign says something like, "Yeah, I'm stuck here from Italy." They create this whole kind of persona, and it'd be like, nah, that's not it. They're not playing anything at all. But people pray. I guess that's the issue. People preying on your kindness. I don't really like that.
In every conversation, tell them
Male is logical, female is emotional, says my husband in every conversation.
I mean, and typically, yeah. I mean, but we also, we're logical, and y'all are also emotional. So.
Nah, man.
No, man.
Okay, my father is a retired police officer. And many years ago, he asked a dude who was standing on the freeway corner in Detroit, and the dude said he made about $200 a day. Is that good? I don't know how to gauge that.
Well,
I'm out of touch with.
That's a decent living, I guess. You know what I mean?
I suppose.
And that's another thing. Like, a lot of homeless people are, veterans, and yeah, I mean, I care. I do.
That was good having you, Sheila. Thanks for hanging out. Mm-hmm. I have an EB120 and it's fine. It might as well be an EB150. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Yeah, I'm not for GoFunds. Have seen a few people on Nextdoor seeking help, but haven't seen scammers. Yeah.
That's funny because, whenever someone hits hard times, like, there's situations where, it's really real, it's sincere, it's genuine, and people can come through and be a significant blessing. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a part of me that doesn't like the idea of being ashamed to share publicly that, I'm on hard times. What do you mean? Because of the sentiment.
I guess the hard thing is that there are people in real need, but normal shame, and there are shameless people without the real need. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's what I was trying to get at just
now. I saw you in boxing. Oh, I saw your unboxing of the black 150. I thought, I don't know, maybe. It's like a dark gray. I guess that's fair. It's fine. It's doing fine. I just bought a 320 watt energy panel, one power station. That's kind of what my goal has been for these things, and it's doing fine. It's doing fine. Has some noise inside. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you're back in the backlog. Yeah, they replaced it for me. I sent it back. It's all good now. The only thing I have an issue with now is a little bit of whining in the AC inverter. but Joe Tyson and Joe Trott have assured me that maybe it's just a little bit of Sanjay Gupta missing from it. I don't know if I should say that, but that's funny to me. There's some goop on the board that may not have enough to quiet down the vibrations or something fancy. I don't get it. I feel a way about it, but with having so many power stations, sometimes I don't get consumed in the issues. I just kind of keep it moving. I'll help when I can, but scammers have muddied the waters to who is being legit and not. Yeah, and that's the hard part, man.
Yeah, because you don't want to miss the legit ones. You know what I mean? You really do want to help.
Yeah, we understood it, MJ. We understood it. I just feel like sometimes I feel okay to give to people, and sometimes I don't. The thing that I can't get by is people like like when people ask you for change. I feel like there should be no hesitation for you to give them change. I understand you may not have it, but what's somebody gonna do with a couple nickels? It's like, dude, it's 2022. Like you gonna give people like $5 and keep it moving? I mean, it's like, yeah, I don't get caught up in the minutia of being kind to people. When it's appropriate, I think actively. If I feel compelled, I'll give. If I don't feel compelled, then I just keep it moving. You know what I mean? You never know. I've given people like rides places before that Rona popped off, and my wife, you would be like, and it's like, well, yeah, I don't do it for anybody, but if I see a young person or something, and it's like, you could tell by most people's countenance what they got going on. People can't hide that stuff very well. So it's like,
Some can.
and then God helps me with the rest. So just to bring it all kind of full circle, um, there will be people in this community, in the overall YouTube community, who will find themselves on hard times, and then they will need something. And I'm one man with one woman with a few friends who has to figure out and vet whether or not that thing is legit or not. So I just, that's sometimes it'll work out in their favor, and sometimes it won't. Um, and we're just gonna be measured like that.
Can can I have some chocolate?
Okay, I gotta move on from whatever they talking about.
Can I have some chocolate?
Okay, but what is with these people pulling up to me in a gas station asking for money in a nicer car than mine? That happens to me so much in the brown side of town, but I'm living among the WPs now. Interesting.
Can I eat this? It's what?
I feel like, do me a favor, just take the whole plate and go bring it to the table. Come on, y'all need to go back over into the other area. Please be careful, okay?
Oh.
Just hold it flat. Put the toy down. Take the plate. Don't worry about the knife and the fork. We'll figure it out. Keep it flat. Watch what you're doing. Walk slow. I don't know about that. I mean, what okay, nicer car than yours. I don't know what we do with that. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Is that real? Or are you being tongue in cheek kind of? What's a nicer car than yours? That's interesting. I wonder about that. Please enlighten me. WPs, yeah, that's shorthand for our Caucasian brothers and sisters. I remember in the 80s, someone sold my cousin a DVD player. When he got home and opened it, it was only a brick and newspaper inside. So, and this is kind of what I'm getting at, right? I remember, again, in the realm of reasonability, in the realm of being reasonable, why would anybody really scam? There has to be some unmet need there, realm of reasonability, not people who are just savages. It's like, people ask because they need it. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. It's not like this particular country that we live in, ripe with opportunity, ripe with hurdles as well. You know what I mean? You could certainly do it, but everybody can't necessarily find opportunity or success the same way. It just is what it is. So I just try to be reasonable, man. You know, I help out where I can. Sometimes I won't be able to help out. And then sometimes my resources, not just money, but my time. I won't necessarily always have the time to do it. But I value giving back. I value especially giving back to this community. I was talking with Wayne, and I think it's funny when like YouTubers say that I wouldn't be here without you. And it's kind of like this. I understand what they're getting at, but I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I feel like we both work in tandem. Like you guys like content that YouTubers make, and YouTubers make nice content. So it's like we both need each other, right? It's not that I'm beholden or any YouTubers beholden to their particular audience of people who watch. You watch because the content is good, and you watch because you get some value from it. And I'm glad that people get value from the content. We are all here together. You know what I mean? I have content that people enjoy, and because of that content that I made, it got me a following. Because of Les sharing it with his folks, I grew faster than I would have. But I would have grown either way because I make good content. I'm a very harsh judge of my content, so I'm not being arrogant when I say that. Um, but because of you guys, because of the numbers, I'm able to get these power stations. I'm able to review them. These companies are willing to exchange them for that particular influence and the possibility that some of you guys may buy the devices. And once I get to a point where I have as many as I feel like I need to be cool or whatever, that fulfill a purpose and so on and so forth, then some things will cycle out and I'll give them away to you guys. I try to be fair in giving them away, but sometimes, if I wanted to give something directly to a person, I want to be able to do that too. And hopefully you guys don't have a problem with that, which if you're a reasonable person, you wouldn't. Yeah. um, a Beamer to a Kia. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm being 100% real. I drive a 2004 Kia, and I've had people roll up to my car that can't be more than 2 or 3 years old. I'm shocked that they can afford that car, but not gas. Oh yeah, I mean that it's a sign of bad decision making, right? But that's certainly possible. I was joking, like, man, you can't be out here in these streets not being able to afford gas. I'm not trying to be insensitive to people who find themselves in particular situations. Um, but I'm joking as it relates to, because I remember being young and like only having so much money for gas. So it's just like, fam, if you've been driving a car for a while, you need to make sure you can afford gas. But it's like people are always out here trying to hustle and get over. That's for sure.
There are some people.
There are some people. There's a clarity that my wife is providing, which I will yield to. Thank you. Good to see you. What's going on in your world? Afro Mom Van Lifing is a channel I came across in some capacity. I know you slowed down on content. I haven't been over to your channel in a minute. A minute being like 3 weeks. But it's good to see you. Definitely good to see you. Good content too. It's like, still growing and kind of finding the way creatively and so on and so forth. I know you had some stuff going on. But are you back actively making content or not quite? And feel free to share that with me privately if you don't want to put that out here in the public chatosphere. Um, I'd like to think that people ask because they need, but I'm confident that some people ask because they see merit in taking money off of suckers. Maybe I look like a sucker. I say no cash and walk off. I dig that. I ain't mad at that. Somebody told me I have like a general, like, leave me alone kind of face. And they're right. She said jokingly, she was like, I saw you because we have a family vlog channel, right? And she saw me like downtown and she said hello. And when she said hello, you get like a pleasant smile like this. But before then, she was like, I was a little scared to say hi to you because you generally had a look like, don't talk to me, I'll slap the ish out of you. She said the cuss word. So she has some pretty strong feelings about my demeanor. My demeanor serves me well as an introvert, though. People typically don't bother me, and I like it.
I'm around. We gonna talk to everybody.
Oh my gosh. My wife is she's not bad. She's social though. Instead of giving random people on the street money, give money to a charity or church you know that does a good service to the community. That's
Do it all.
That's
Do all
yeah,
of
yeah,
that. Do
yeah.
that too.
I actually had this idea many years ago because, like I said, I've always been community minded. I had this like, what do they call it? Idealist kind of way of thinking. Like you should give to one local charity in your community, one state, one country, and then you should also give money to like some foreign entity. Just like a framework for being charitable. So you're not just picking one thing, but spreading it around, right? What does that say? People, oh, thumbs up. I was like, thumbs up, people? Interesting. Um, Remember, the thumbs up is so that YouTube will decide to share this with other people. Not every conversation needs to be shared with the masses. They may not see value or benefit. I tell you what, y'all can thumbs up though, is those videos I make and I put out that are normal. Thumbs up those. But some people are still out here fronting like they got it going on, but living paycheck to paycheck. That's a very good point. You know, the that Rona showed us that for sure. People living like right at their means, from poor to being wealthy and well off. Just don't change the rules of a giveaway midway and no one can complain. That's a fair point. As for giving, asking, I believe it's all about the intent behind the ask and the give. The universe and karma will be the judge of that, in my view. If there's ill intent, the universe will judge accordingly. That's interesting. I don't necessarily subscribe to the universe, but I respect that logic and I hear you. There's certainly rules about this thing and how ways work out. In the biblical context, we call it sowing and reaping. So, but yeah, I feel you. 100%. Thank you, Kimber Jack. Hey, I appreciate you personally. You. Miss they say one bad apple ruins the barrel. That's what they say.
Well, what you mean, Miss MISS?
Hey man, listen, don't be weird.
That's for teenagers.
Miss what are you talking about?
It should be Miss MS but because you know I'm married, it should be MRS, Mrs.
What do you do, bro? What do you do? You're bad.
But what did he say? I missed everything he said.
They say one bad apple ruins a barrel, a bunch, whatever.
Yeah, sometimes, but you can say a few. And I'm talking specifically and literally because I deal with that all the time with my fruit.
Yeah.
Strawberries be going bad on me, man.
One Fisher say, yo, these California gas prices are a scam. I have to agree.
Everything's a scam in California.
Everything feels like a scam. I'm gonna say that. You feel like y'all is wilding out there, man. Jeez. Balance. California, much like our political system, is lacking balance. Mm-hmm. I'm friendly, but have that look also sometimes. Like, please get away from me. Get out my way. Hey, Siobhan. There are those that bought vehicles that have maintenance and now higher gas prices having to now handle bills and gas. Yeah, I mean, stuff changes. I've talked with people about this idea of like buying a home and then your whatever tax on your home and stuff, like, because there are some heartless like conservative Republican people who have this like, okay, the logic is the logic. You bought a home, you should be able to afford a home. And I'm like, well, you can't control that somebody wants to gentrify your community and then raises up your property value. And now you have to pay taxes on a $200,000 house when that house cost you 60 grand, 50 grand back then. It's like, what do you do with that? If you bought it in the 70s and it's 2020 or 2001 or 2010, and now your home is valued at 250,000. You're freaking 70 now.
Well, yeah, I want to say they probably paid their mortgage off though.
But you still got to pay the taxes. Yeah, and if you're used to it, yeah. People get mad at misses sometimes. I don't know.
Who get mad if they? I guess if they unhappily married, maybe.
Oh, geez, my gosh. I'm more cautious now. This week at Sam's, putting stuff in my car. A young girl asked me for bus fare. I hesitated, asked her how much fare is now. Gave her $250. She volunteered and pushed my car back to the lot. It's like, listen, I get it, man. If you want to go about unconventional means of kind of making money to support yourself, because of the bad actors, people are not as giving. You know what I mean? It's like you have to, I feel like give yourself a cutoff. Let's say you'll give up to $30 to anybody who wants it, $20 to anybody who wants it. Still use discernment. I'm not saying go out there blind, but once you hit your $20 cap, then you can start being a little more diligent. You know what I mean? Because it's just like at the end of the day, as my man Andrew says, I want to be like, he's white. Um, he says that, you know, we are blessed to live in this country. This country has its issues, its difficulties, its complexities, but comparatively,
In a lot of instances.
in some instances, we have some opportunities that some people don't have. That's what privilege is about, right? You know, I don't want to get into that, but privilege does not live in a vacuum. It's a comparative thing. So compared to some countries, we have it kind of good, but compared to some other countries, we suck. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah, it just depends on what it is.
I know.
Some states have. Okay, cool. That's what's up.
That's cool.
All right, I think I've made the point. It was good hanging out with y'all for this lunchtime live. You know,
Didn't I come up with that name?
you did, or maybe I did, and you co-signed it.
No. I think you started off with a name, and then I was like, no.
Y'all see how she trying to take credit?
Yeah.
I mean, it's on wax. We could just go look at the video. I think it's the live tech video. I'm gonna go look at it because I'm curious. She over here trying to get credit. I hope that's something for me.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
my,
got two packages on there.
My AC 200p shipped. So that's good news. So it'll be on the way. I think it's slated to be here in about like next week. All right. I could sit here and rap with y'all all day, but I don't make enough money on YouTube to not work. So I gotta get back to work.
Yeah.
Y'all be beautiful, be kind, but also be smart. And we'll leave it there.